All right, welcome everybody. You're here with Luke's MTG. We're going to be drafting some Guilds of Ravnica on rank today. Let's go ahead and spend this gold. So for those of you that remember this format, basically you just want to draft red-white as often as you can. So the first thing I'm looking at here is probably going to be the Luminous Bonds. I just want to take the removal spell. Drowned Secrets can be a pretty powerful win condition, however, but I'd like to end up in the red-white deck, and this is just a fine removal spell otherwise, so we're going to go with the Luminous Bonds. Okay, so what are we looking at here? Nothing particularly exciting. If you can help it, you want to stick to one of the guild combinations. A 2-4 for 4 is not great. Wheat Dragonauts seems fine. You know, it's got some evasion. It can get pumped. Izzet is also a pretty powerful deck. Playcrafter is pretty marginal, especially with the Selesnya deck, so I'm going to go with the Wheat Dragonauts. Alrighty. Fire Urchin is a pretty decent card. Let's see what else here. This can be fine in the aggro decks. I mean, we're not really seeing a whole lot here that we want to be playing. Let's see. I'd rather stay on the aggressive side of things, so I think I'll end up going with either the Ornery Goblin or the Fire Urchin. The Ornery Goblin is fine. A little bit more in the red-based aggro decks. Alright. So let's see here. Ooh, we've got Sky Knight Legionnaire, which is a pretty decent Boros aggro tool. We've also got Hypothesisal. This can be a removal spell, and you also get to get some card selection out of that. Silent Dart is alright. I mean, it's not something I really want to be playing with. Righteous Blow can be pretty decent. So I guess we have a decision to make here. Do we want to go red-white, or do we want to go blue-red? So Boros or Izzet? I think Sky Knight Legionnaire is a slightly better Boros card than the Hypothesisal is an Izzet card, although that could be wrong. We could always end up wheeling one of these things, and taking the Righteous Blow would give us more removal in white. It's also a little more efficient. It's pretty much a shock. We're already slanted on a more aggressive route, so I'm just going to take the Sky Knight Legionnaire. Hopefully we can get paid off. Sonic Assault is pretty good. Let's see, Demotion can be pretty good for those aggressive decks. Another Righteous Blow is pretty decent. We don't want to get stacked up on too many of them. Although we did choose the Sky Knight Legionnaire over that. So I think I'm going to take the Righteous Blow. Yeah, not wild about this Garrison Sergeant. But we do have a Boros Guild Gate, so let's take that. Gravitic Punch isn't great. Intrusive Pack Beast can be pretty decent as a top-end card for the Boros decks. But I think I'd rather have the 2-2 with Vigilance. We just want cheap creatures in this. Hunted Witness is fine. Book Devourer is not what you want in these aggressive red decks. Pack Beast is pretty decent. However, we might want another Righteous Blow just to keep clearing the way out for our guys. There are a lot of low toughness creatures in this format. Let's take the Righteous Blow. Garrison Sergeant is okay. I think it's probably the only thing that we really want here. Well, the Fire Urchin made its way back. Let's just take that. I think I'll take another Grizzly Bear that has the potential to make one of our other creatures not trade well with our opponent. Although Fire Urchin is potentially a little better. We do have Mentor. I think the more Mentors we have, the better the Fire Urchin gets, so I'm going to take that for that reason. Maniacal Rage is pretty good if we have any evasive creatures. We have one so far that we intend on playing. I mean, how many Righteous Blows do we really need to play? Oh, we could always find that later. I think Righteous Blow is slightly better than Maniacal Rage. Demotion can be pretty decent if we're really aggressive. That's the only really playable card we intend on using. Oh, Deafening Clarion. That can be pretty good. Ooh, so can Inspiring Unicorn. Doesn't attack that well. Let's see. Cosmotronic Wave can be pretty nuts. It's just a good way to finish things off. I think I'll take the Deafening Clarion, though. It's a good way to swing life totals and also clear up the battlefield if we end up behind. Yeah, let's take the Deafening Clarion. Alright, what else do we have here? I'm not wild about Street Riot. Not really wild about any of this stuff. I guess the Chromatic Lantern can fix our mana later if we end up wanting that. I don't think we will, but there's nothing I really want here. So I'm just going to take the Chromatic Lantern. Oh, Healer's Hawk. We're going to take that immediately. Destroy all creature with toughness 4 or greater. Yeah, that might be a consideration, but Healer's Hawk is just so good in this deck. It's hard to pass on that kind of card. Let's see, 5/2 for 4 with Mentor is not great. I'd rather have the Grizzly Bear here with upside. Ooh, Inescapable Blaze. That's exactly the finisher that we want. I mean, it's just a good way to finish the opponent off, as well as kill a giant creature should we have any difficulties with that. Ooh. This is kind of a tough call. The Parhelia... Let's go back here and take a look at our curve. We don't really have any good 4 drops. In fact, we have 0 of them. So the big questions here are, do we want another Sky Knight Legionnaire or do we want another Parhelion Patrol? I like the Sky Knight Legionnaire a lot. However, the Parhelion Patrol does have Mentor. How many 1 power creatures do we have? Very few, so for that reason I'm going to take the Sky Knight Legionnaire. Plus it just has haste and flying, so it's a great way to make sure we're getting through there. Fresh Face Recruit is fine. I do like Sure Strike a lot in these kind of aggressive decks. It can either finish your opponent off, or, you know, basically act as a removal spell. I also like the Goblin Banneret quite a bit because of your ability to pump it. Gives you mana sink, and you can also mentor all your 2 power creatures that you've got. So I'd rather take the Goblin Banneret. Alright, Swathcutter Giant. I mean, it's just a 6 mana Vigilance guy. It's really not what you want to be doing. Torch Courier's pretty decent. I mean, it has haste. I can give other guys haste. But I'm, again, going to go with this 10th disregard here. I'll take the Grizzly Bear with upside. Same thing here. Let's just take our Grizzly Bear. I don't think any of these cards are good, so I'll just take the playable Street Riot. Collar the Culprit is a decent way to get rid of some creatures that may be difficult to deal with. I mean, these aren't going to end up being sideboarded games. But, I mean, it's there. Ooh, there's an intrusive pack piece, so that's not a bad pickup. Wow. So we're drafting exactly the colors we need to be. Tajic Legion's End. That's about the best red-white rare that you can get aside from Aurelia. So let's take another look at the cards in this pack just for conversation's sake. Sky Knight Legionnaire is good, Sure Strike is good, but I mean, Tajic Legion's End is basically everything you want for this deck. Alright. I mean, we already have 3 Righteous Blows. You know, Torch Courier is not great when we have a bunch of haste creatures. It's 1/1 with haste, which is fine. Hunted Witness is okay. We might want more 1-drops, in which case Hunted Witness is pretty decent, plus it leaves behind a body, so let's go ahead and take that. Very nice. So we also get the Legion Guild Mage. This is a great uncommon. It's a good way to keep the board clear of some really pesky blockers that you see out of the green decks. And it's also a good way to deal some damage in the late game as a mana sink. I think we'll... Ooh, Wojak Bodyguard's really good here. Piston Fist Cyclops. We don't have a great way to turn this on constantly. Cosmotronic Wave is pretty good, but I like the Wojak Bodyguard a lot more. It just allows our guys to continuously attack. Direct Current is probably going to be my pick here. Yeah, it's just a removal spell that you can activate more than once. Ooh, Boros Challenger is also excellent. I mean, we're just getting rewarded left and right. There's another direct current. It's also the Rebel Belt Boar. That one's okay. Ornery Goblin's pretty good, but I'll take the direct current. It's just better removal. We already have a great creature base, so I think I'm happy taking the removal spells where I can. There's a Sure Strike, so I'm going to take that. Absolutely. Oh, boy. Maybe another Sure Strike. I like Sure Strike a little more than Righteous Blow. Let's take the Torch Courier just as a 1-drop. Let's see. We've also got Candlelight Vigil. I doubt we'll end up playing that. It could be really good on our one of our Sky Knight Legionnaires. We may as well take that. And Cosmotronic Wave Wield. That's exactly what we want. This is going to help us finish the game off. Let's take the Crush the Contraband. Take another Torch Courier just because. And another Gravitic Punch. Let's build this deck real quick. Let's see. We can take out the Wee Dragonauts. We can take out the Chromatic Lantern. Oh, I forgot we had the Luminous Bonds. I guess that was our immediate pick. God, we have a lot of good 3-drops. I think we can take out the Fire Urchins. They're just less easy to turn on. Healer's Hawk is fantastic and we want that. Demotion we probably won't use. Probably won't use Righteous Blow with all the Sure Strikes that we have. We're not going to play this. We're not going to play the Hammer Dropper. Not going to play the Gravitic Punch. Probably not going to play the Candlelight Vigil. I mean, you just want to keep your mana curve as low as possible. So we've got 3 1-drops. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many creatures do we have? Let's take a look here. 15 creatures. That's a little bit low. But the Inescapable Blaze will help us finish things off. Color the Culprit will be good against some of the things that we're weak against. What's our worst 2-drop? Probably one of the 10th District cards. We have a pretty healthy amount of removal. I mean, we have 1, let's see, 2, 3, 4. These could be counted as like 1.5 to 2 pieces of removal each. Yeah, I think this deck is pretty decent. Got to make sure to make Tajik here. So we got a pretty sweet Boros aggro deck here. I think we're going, let's take a look at our thing here. So we got mostly red by a very small margin. We're going to cut a plains. I think we'll put in another creature. Let's see. We've got plenty of 2-drops. Probably want a little bit more punch in the late game. Let's see here. Don't think we need more 2-drops. I kind of like the Barging Sergeant. Simply because it's a good attacker, and we have lots of things that we want to mentor onto. Several flyers, so it's not great, but, you know, it's fine. You know, this Boros Garrison, or excuse me, Boros Guildgate should help us fix our mana, and let's just hope to aggro our opponent out. Let's get going here. I mean, we have a lot of good uncommon card, or common and uncommon cards that are multicolored. So lots of good gold cards is going to help us here quite a bit. Yeah, this seems pretty good. I mean, our objective here is going to get this Healer's Hawk down and then start mentoring on it with the Boros Challenger. Discard a card. So what are we least likely to use? Probably the Inescapable Blaze. We're not going to play that right now because I want to play this Healer's Hawk ASAP. Hopefully they don't have a removal spell. Opponent discards a card. Let's get rid of this Hunted Witness. Oh, nice. Let's go ahead and attack. We're going to get down this Boros Challenger. Next turn we'll probably play the Guild Mage. If we can get this Mentor just once, we're going to be in great shape. Just have to hope our opponent doesn't have a dead weight or something like that. cheap black way to kill this Healer's Hawk. This Healer's Hawk is just going to carry us. Wow, Severed Strands. Well, that's not going to do a whole lot. I mean, thankfully we do have the initiative here. Alright, so we got a 2-2. Let's see, I think we're going to use the Legion Guild Mage. I don't think we're going to attack with it. I'd rather save this Luminous Bonds for something we absolutely cannot get through. I mean, if anything, we can use the the Legion Guild Mage to tap some things down. No. Well, okay, so we didn't get the opportunity to stop like we wanted. That's fine. I don't really like the stops that they have on Magic Arena. So one thing you need to do is, you know, be very conscious of where the stops are placed. There's a 4-3. That's going to be something we have a difficult time getting through, so I'll be more than happy to place the Luminous Bonds on that. However, let's see. We're going to tap down this Portcullis Vine, and we're going to play the Luminous Bonds here so that we can attack. This doesn't particularly matter where we place it. Just want to get that down. Prevent his 4-3 from engaging in combat with us, and then we can start pecking away. So we've drawn a pretty fair amount of lands. We've also had several of our spells discarded, thanks to Burglar Rat and the Vicious Rumors. That Portcullis Vine could be potentially pretty annoying. I expect the Erstwhile Trooper is going to get the counter, though. Yep. I think what we'll do is we're going to use this Guild Mage to tap down the Erstwhile Trooper. We are still pretty far ahead in life. However, and this Healer's Hawk is going to... Ooh, that's really nice. So we're going to go ahead and attack with everything here. Our opponent could have a pump spell, potentially. There's the Convoke pump spell. I don't expect that, though. So we're in pretty good shape here. You know, one more land and this Legion Guild Mage can hang back and potentially tap something or deal 3 damage, which is much preferred to its Grizzly Bear mode. Yeah, I'm not particularly frightened by that. So let's see. I think I'd rather save that for next turn. It is a sorcery. So our opponent can attack for 1, 2, 3, 10, 11. I think I'll tap this. Oh, it does have hexproof. Well, that's a little annoying. Well, let's see. We'll probably just tap something down in that case for our opponent. Let's go ahead and place a stop on their second main. See what they play. Let's go ahead and tap down this Erstwhile Trooper. Keep our life total as high as we can for now. Yeah, they're going to have one less blocker. I mean, I'm sure they're just looking for some kind of action here. See, they're at 8 life. Another Portcullis Vine. Okay. Oh, that's rough. Burglar Rat makes us discard a card. Sure. See, it does not have trample, so probably going to end up blocking that at some point. But for now, I'm happy to take the attack so that I can continue. Ooh, Deafening Clarion. I think we're going to give all of our creatures lifelink for now. I just want the life total padding. We're going to lose everything to the Deafening Clarion. So I prefer to get my life in while I can. They're going to have to double block here, which is okay with me. You know, we're going to kill 2 of their guys. Would be nice to have that later on to potentially deal 3 damage, but, you know, they've got these 2 flyers in the air right now, and it looks like they've got a 3-turn clock as of now. All I have to do is leave back this 10th District Guard to change that. I mean, we got lifelink here with the Healer's Hawk, so I think we're in pretty good shape here. Yeah, they kind of realize they have to have the blocker, or they're just dead. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and just attack with these 2. See if they have anything to say about it right now. They do not. Okay, so let's get down this shield mate. And we'll have extra blockers in case they have some kind of shenanigans for the Erstwhile Trooper. But right now, Ritual of Soot. Wow, okay. I wasn't expecting that. So we have several direct currents that we can draw that are going to help us. That's pretty terrible. That's a pretty sick top deck by our opponent. Okay, so here we're kind of... Well, that's pretty lucky of our opponent to have running top decks to kill us when we had lethal, but just the way it goes sometimes, you know. That's what makes Magic interesting, is the potential for swingy games. So I thought we had that one, but our opponent got pretty lucky with some of their top decks. Let's see, we had 2 Sure Strikes and 2 Direct Currents we could have drawn at any point that probably would have helped us, but, you know, that's okay. On to the next game. Boy. Well, we have got a very slow hand with no creatures. We do have plenty of direct currents that we can use several times. However, we're just an aggressive deck, and I think we can do better than this. Although, because we are on the draw, we do have 4 removal spells. But they are, you know, 3 cost, so our opponent's going to get to play their 3-drop before we can play ours. So let's go ahead and mulligan to a better hand. This is much better. Much, much better. Let's see, I'd rather take the guarantee of the Tajic. Although we could probably draw some lands. We are on the draw. Let's keep this in. Let's send back a Plains. I think this hand is great. This is going to get to Mentor. There we go. Never didn't have it. So I'd like I'd prefer to play the Tajic over the Wojek Bodyguard because it protects. Oh, that's just great. Get a 2-drop. Go ahead and buff our little Healer's Hawk so it doesn't die to 1 damage from who knows what. Get to play the Tajic. Although, perhaps we should play the Wojek Bodyguard. Yeah, we can attack with the Tajic next time. It ends up being roughly the same amount of damage. Wow. Now we get to double Mentor. And I'm going to do Mentor both times on the Healer's Hawk. This way we get maximum lifelink and the largest flyer we can get. And I'm pretty sure our opponents are just dead. Our opponent, plural, is just dead. Divine Visitation. Unfortunately, that is not going to get it done. So you can't wait until turn 5 to make a play just because you have a mythic rare, no matter how good you may think that mythic rare is. So, pretty decisive game there, and that's one of the reasons that I think that Boros aggro was the best deck that you can draft in Guilds of Ravnica draft. It's just very aggressive. I mean, the deck is comprised of mostly commons. You know, you have some really powerful uncommons as well that help the deck operate. And then you have nice rares like Tajik that we were fortunate enough to open up, I think, in our 3rd pack. Could have been the 2nd pack. I'm sure everyone will correct me. Alright, got ourselves an opponent. Urzen. So our opponent has Urzen in their name. They got Jace as their avatar, so we're clearly playing against a high-level player. This is going to be a mulligan. We don't have any castable spells for quite a while. 1 creature on turn 5 is not good enough. And as we saw, you know, our deck can just simply do much better. Oh, same problem. However, I'm not comfortable going to 5 in draft. I'll dump this Sure Strike because I have no creatures right now. So right now we're going to play red-white control with our targeted removal spell and our mass removal spell. We'll just see how things end up for us. Hopefully we draw a 2-drop that we can use to start putting some damage in. Opponent with the Discovery. Surveil 2, draw a card. Good way to shape the hand. Dump some cards you don't want. Pick some cards you do. Let's go ahead and play this mountain out here. So, pretty nervous. You know, we do have some haste creatures. But I hope that our opponent plays a spell that we can kill with this direct current. Glowspore Shaman. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and kill that if we don't draw a creature. You know, we get to recur it, dump one of these excess mountains that we have here. Boros Challenger, so what do we go with here? I think because we can pump the Boros Challenger next turn, I would prefer to just get this down. You know, we just want to get a creature down as soon as possible. We can use the direct current here if we would like to. If not, we'll just pump this. This is, of course, going to be on our turn. No blocks. We're going to kill your guy. So let's see what they have. Ooh, please put it on the Glowspore Shaman. There you go. Looks like an ideal target. Death Touch, so that's going to be another target for the 2nd direct current. I think what we want to do here is kill the Death Toucher. No, we can hold off on an attack for now and kill the Glowspore Shaman now. That'll help keep our life total higher. Man, direct current is just awesome. Of course, we're not going to attack here. I don't want to lose it to a 1/1. This is our only creature, and we're counting on this to do quite a bit of damage throughout the game. Ooh, they have Necrotic Wound. That's pretty good. Hopefully we can draw a creature. Creeping Chill, wow. Okay, so we did draw a creature, in fact. I think red ended up being slightly more important, so we're going to play this mountain. We're going to direct current away this guy, and then play this Legion Guild Mage. So we can dump this plains. And now I feel like we're in a pretty good spot. Got an equal number of resources in all aspects. Oh my gosh. Alright, well, good thing we got Collar the Culprit. go ahead and get rid of that. And we'll attack here. Now we can play this Goblin Banneret, and we get to mentor the Legion Guild Mage. We'll let them attack. We have a better clock than they do right now. I'm a bit suspicious of our opponent making that attack. It's possible they have a removal spell. I'll just activate this Goblin Banneret as much as I can. They might have a removal spell, but I've got nothing else I plan on doing, so I'd rather just get the damage in. Yeah, and we got a massive 10 power attack in there. Wow, and they just conceded, so clearly they didn't have any answers for it. I don't know why they chose not to block, but you know, it's our opponent's choice. So we got the win on that one. What do we get here? Tybalt's Rager. Great. On to the next game. Another reason I really enjoy drafting these red-white aggro decks in Guild of Ravnica, the games just go really quickly. You know, I like a challenging game with lots of decisions to make, as much as the next guy, but sometimes it's nice just to be able to get through your games. We are playing against Pong. Ooh, and we get to go first with a 1-drop. Perfect. So we can immediately get some damage in there, protect it with a Sure Strike against a blocker. You know, we got a removal spell, we got Deafening Clarion to gain some life, and eventually we got a Curve Topper. So hopefully we're playing against a, let's see, I don't know, something similar that we've defeated in the past. I believe that was a mulligan off of our, or out of our opponent. Let's play the mountain. There we go. And run down this Banneret. And I'd like to just draw lands for a little while. Healer's Hawk. I am more than happy to play this Boros Challenger and choose to not attack. Actually, if they want to trade Healer's Hawks, I'm okay with that. Yeah, our opponent valuing their Healer's Hawk quite highly there. Ideally, we draw a mountain for this direct current so we can kill the Healer's Hawk. Oh, green-white. Healer's Hawk not as good in the green-white decks. Okay. Just go ahead and mentor this now. Get down 6. Let's see, we'd really like to draw any land that is not Boros Guildgate, preferably a mountain. Ooh, District Guide. And now we can mentor onto the Goblin Banneret. I think now what I'd really, really like to do is draw a mountain. Yikes. Boros Guildgate, not quite what we were looking for there. We're going to go ahead and attack with everything and use this Sure Strike to deal with District Guide. Good rule of thumb with combat tricks is to assume that they have it in draft. You know, Sure Strike should be a pretty common one to imagine out of red-white deck. So let's see what our opponent has. I mean, they're getting ready to make their 5th land drop. Not particularly intimidated by the unicorn there. Let's see, I think what we'll do, we can mentor onto the Goblin Banneret with the Sky Knight Legionnaire. I mean, this just represents more damage. And they have no good blocks here. So hopefully we'll deal 8, putting them to 5. And the next turn we'll probably Sure Strike this Sky Knight Legionnaire. They'll end up at 7 if they attack with both the Unicorn and the Healer's Hawk. If they have a big creature, we can probably trade off with a Sure Strike. I mean, most creatures are going to be, you know, less than 6 toughness. They might have one of the centaurs that enters the battlefield and gains them some life. I would have put Candlelight Vigil on the Healer's Hawk personally. You're just going to gain more life. Here you get to attack us for a 6 and we just kill you. I mean, they probably... I mean, why wouldn't you attack here? Prey upon. Yeah, I mean, unless you're... So we get to direct current the healer, or excuse me, direct current the Healer's Hawk. We're going to get in there with the Legionnaire. Put him to 3. So let's see what they've got. That's not a flyer. They really need something with reach or a removal spell for the Sky Knight Legionnaire. Yeah, I think it's a big mistake not putting the Candlelight Vigil on the Healer's Hawk. I mean, you just gain 4 life a turn while also breaking my life total down quite a bit. That does not gain you life, so looks like we've got it. All we have to do is attack with the Goblin Banneret and we kill them. Obviously they attack here because it has vigilance and it's bigger than our guy, so why not? There will be new blocks. See, this has Mentor. And we got him. Your guy does not have reach. Your guy does not have reach. There we go. Cool. Win number 3. All right. Got some sick rewards so far. We are 3-1 with our Boros aggro deck here in the Guilds of Ravnica draft. Hopefully we get a quick opponent so we can keep churning through these games. Let's see. I'm trying to think of some of the drafts I may have changed, but we'll get back to that now that we've got no space to fill. Yeah, this hand seems really good. We've been on the draw all but 1 game so far. Ooh, that's pretty good against Healer's Hawk. A lot of green-black decks I'm seeing. That wasn't an archetype that I... Wow. I would imagine they probably take the Sky Knight Legionnaire, which is fine with me. I mean, we get to chip away with our Healer's Hawk, and they spent 3 mana to make us discard something we spent 0 mana on. You know, so skip 2 turns, discard my Sky Knight Legionnaire. I'm okay with that. So, this will kind of reveal what... Yep. As expected, they take the Sky Knight Legionnaire. You know, we're a little slow here, but we've got plenty of things to draw. Glowspore Shaman, you know, fortunately not something I'm too concerned about right now. Maybe a direct current would be really nice to help clean that up, as well as provide some removal for future creatures. Didn't get it, you know, but things get too out of control. We always have a Deafening Clarion to reset the board, and then a Barging Sergeant later to just kill him. So let's see what we get here. Inescapable Blaze. Yikes. And we're just casting no spells. So our opponent ended up slowing us down quite a bit with the Pilfering Imp. You know, but this Barging Sergeant should allow us a pretty sizable attacker. It's probably going to trade with something. You know, if it trades with the Glow Spore Shaman and adds an additional wow. Absolutely. No issues with that. If you want to spend your 5 mana removal spell killing my 1-drop, you know, more power to you. In that case, I'll probably Deafening Clarion this Glow Spore Shaman if they don't attack. I'd rather make way for the Barging Sergeant. So let's see what they have here. Maybe something we can kill with Inescapable Blaze. Yeah, exactly killable by the... Ooh, let's see. Do we Cosmotronic Wave now? That Hired Poisoner is pretty annoying. No, I think we just want to do the best we can. Let's kill this Rhizome Lurcher. Let them attack with their Hired Poisoner. Let's go ahead and kill this guy. Hopefully they don't have any combat tricks to prevent this. That sucks quite a bit. Opponent very happy to show us their oops. But we are going to Luminous Bonds their guy here. Unfortunate that they, you know, it's basically a 2 for 2. They're a little ahead on mana for that exchange. Wow. They love their Death Touch guys. So we've got enough to Sure Strike here. And I will be using the Sure Strike. Oh, you know what? They just kill us. That was a poor move on my behalf. Oh, no they don't, because the Rhizome Lurcher can't attack. Let's see what they have here. I mean, hopefully we can gain a little bit of life. Don't think we have anything else that will gain us life. Let's go ahead and get this down. Let's see, we want to be able to block this Shade. It's going to cost them quite a bit to get around the Sure Strike. We'll not be attacking with that. Our plan is going to be to trade the 10th District Guard for their Pitiless Gorgon and use the Sure Strike to kill the Shade and then Cosmotronic Wave away their Hired Poisoner. That way we can still attack with the 4-2. How many times can they activate this? So they got 1, 2, 3. If they spend all their mana here, that'd be great. We'd really like to see another creature. Tajic would be great. Nope, just another land. Let's go ahead and clear out their guy here. And I think we're going to attack and just let them make whatever trade they want. Wow, do they have an additional 5 damage here from something? Wow, that sucks. If only we had the Cosmotronic Wave. Of course they were saving that. I believe we are just dead here. Yes, we can block 1, 2, 3 creatures. They have 5 more. Yeah. Getting blown out by these rares pretty hard. So, bit unfortunate. Maybe they just don't see the line. Fortunately, we don't have the Deafening Clarion. It's possible they have a combat trick here, but if I were them, I would have just attacked with everything. We're going to go to 2. Here, of course, they're going to gain a bunch of life and draw a bunch of cards. Is there anything that can get us out of this? We've spent the Cosmotronic Wave and the Deafening Clarion. Direct Current would be pretty good. You know, we are going to go to 2. I mean, we just need a creature here. Yeah, I don't think there's anything we can do. Guess we could always see what our opponent did. Let's not waste any more time here. They clearly have us. That feels pretty bad, but what are you gonna do? It's okay. We still have one more loss to go. Let's take another quick look at this deck real quick. So we've got a Healer's Hawk, Hunted Witness, Goblin Banneret, good 3-drops. Some other really notable cards that we have are going to be Tajic, Luminous Bonds, some Direct Currents, Sky Knight Legionnaire. We just have good aggressive cards. Got some good mentor cards as well with the Boros Challenger, the Banneret, Tajic. Forging Sergeant is okay, and the Wojak Bodyguard. So I think this deck is pretty good. Let's go back here. Let's continue. And hopefully we can just get 1, 2, 3, 4 wins in a row. Wouldn't be the first time, so let's just have faith. It's possible we don't have enough creatures in this deck. I think our creature count was 15 or 16. But I do think that the combat tricks are really important in these Boros decks. Yeah, this seems really good. We can cast every spell in our hand. We've got a mentor guy that has a good rate for 2 mana. You know, we've got some aggressive threats with our hasty guys. Yeah, uncommon, common, common, and then of course a rare. So you can see in the uncommon and common slot, you've got a lot of really powerful cards for this archetype. So that's one of the reasons I really like drafting the Boros deck. Man, we're just playing against the non-stop black decks. I think we played against one non-black deck. Thought Erasure. Yep, unfortunately, you know, they could take our Boros Challenger if they wanted, or they could take Tajic, which is a pretty powerful card, but we've still got a 3-drop with haste. So them just taking our most powerful card is not the best use for Thought Erasure. Let's see, important to note that they left the card on top. I'm just going to direct current that. I'd rather not give them the chance to put a +1/+1 counter, and I'd like to not trade off my creatures. In the Boros deck, you have to preserve your creatures as best you can. Let's see. I'm going to direct current that as well. We got plenty of time to play our hasty guys. I don't consider discarding a land, you know, giving up a card. You know, at this point I'm okay to trade off the Boros Challenger. They don't know about the Barging Sergeant, and I would prefer to get a counter on my flyer. Oh boy, now we really get to mess them up. We can potentially attack for 7 here. Yep, and then we have Cosmotronic Wave to prevent them from blocking, so they have to have a removal spell or a way to gain life here. What do you got there, opponent? Yeah, unfortunately that's not gonna do it for you quite yet. You know. Ooh, direct current is good. Can we cast it twice? We can. Another reason I like direct current, sometimes you can just deal 6 damage to them. There you go. Direct current, everyone. Great card. Sweet. Lumbering Battlement. Terrible card. Alright, so we are 4-2 right now. We're on a quest to go from 3 wins to 7 while we have 2 losses. I would prefer to do a little bit better than the previous draft, which was a Core 2020 ranked draft. We ended up playing a Esper Flying Control Planeswalker deck. Ooh, this is a risky keep. We are on the draw. We have a Healer's Hawk. You know, we have... All we have to do is draw a mountain, and I think this hand is really good. I mean, I'm going to not pass up. I'm going to choose not to pass up on the turn 1 Healer's Hawk as often as possible, especially with the presence of Mentor creatures in our deck. Mentor is just a stupid mechanic in draft. I think it was wildly more powerful than any of the other ones in the different guilds. And if our opponent has their own Healer's Hawk next turn, then we get to prevent them from trading off. Not a card I'm particularly terrified of, but we really need to start drawing some mountains here. In fact, we need to draw a mountain next turn or we're going to seriously struggle. Apparently our opponent's playing mono red because of their runaway Steamkin. Direct current is pretty good. Alright, please draw a red source. Didn't get it. So I think this is just going to end up being one of those games where we never draw our second color. And while that's, you know, kind of on me for keeping, I don't think being on the draw with 9 red sources in our deck is entirely unreasonable. We could always collar the culprit, our opponent, on their attack step. However, I prefer to Luminous Bonds it. Just seems like a better way to use the spell. Collar the Culprit's probably not going to be great against our opponent, but it will buy us some time. Of course, again, you know, this turn 1 Healer's Hawk is doing a good job of gaining us some life while we chip away at their life total. Well, I'm not happy with the prospect if they end up direct currenting our Healer's Hawk. You know, they're spending 3 mana and discarding a card. Ooh, that's pretty good. Yikes. Alright, now we kind of desperate... Deafening Clarion is actually the card that I'm looking for here. No, because I need a red source. We just really, really need a red source. There we go. So what are we thinking about here? I think we play the Wojek Bodyguard. We're not going to block with the Sealer's Hawk. We want to get a counter on it so we can gain more life. That was a mistake. I meant to attack. Well, I feel really bad now. Oops. I wouldn't be that surprised to see a direct current here. In fact, that 3 red mana is probably going to that direct current right there. I guess we'll see. I can't think of any red-white X spells in this format. Alright, opponent, we're waiting on you. If they kill a Healer's Hawk, it's going to make the Wojek Bodyguard a lot worse. But you know, we gotta play something. Ooh, yikes. That's a pretty good one. So they're gonna get to take us down to 10. However, we have some okay blocks. Can't even cast the direct current. What do we want to do here? Let's go ahead and attack with everything. Then we'll probably play the Ornery Goblin. If they want to trade off with the Wojek Bodyguard, that's probably fine. Here I'm going to play the Ornery Goblin. We can trade with the Pack Beast with the Goblin. That seems pretty good. However, I would imagine they probably direct current the Healer's Hawk now. If I were them, I would have just gotten rid of it earlier. Maybe they kill the Goblin? Yeah. So we're going to go to 5, back up to 7. So they attack us with everything this turn. Or no, excuse me, we go to 8. Yeah, I think our opponent's got us. I think we're going to lose here. So they can attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can only go up to a maximum of 8. I mean, what happens if we choose to block instead? We can trade with the Pack Beast and potentially with the Sky Knight Legionnaire. Yeah, I mean, we have to do that to stay alive. We could always end up drawing Deafening Clarion, which would be a pretty great spell to have. We could draw a Mountain for the direct current, in which case we could kill 2 of their guys if they choose not to pump the Boros Challenger. In which case I think we're in good shape. Alright, are we dead now? We are. Can't block. Yep, we're just dead. Well, that's a tough one. So I think if we had drawn a red source earlier, we would have been in great shape. But you know, when you keep a hand that has none of your sources, that happens. Let's open our pack real quick and see how we did. There you go, Knight of Autumn. Pretty good card. All right, so we're going to pause on that for now. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. If you're watching on Twitch, I should be back up here shortly. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to check out the next video. Thanks for joining me.